So for the past about month or so, I had this idea. I started using a new journal program called Rome Research, and I really like it. It's really fun. Um, anyway, I may talk about that later, but one of the things I added to kind of my morning routine is to read about our cognitive biases, which are just like our brain shortcuts, like things that we do without thinking. And they're interesting because, sometimes you don't realize why you do stuff until you read about it. Anyway, so one of the things that, or today's cognitive bias, I forget what it's called. It's like something with B, something by. But anyway, the point of it is that it's like the by effect or something. So there was a researcher that wanted to test phonetic names of things and see if it changes our behavior. So when we read certain words, our brain is primed to expect things. And so what they wanted to do is use priming, but specifically to phonetic words. So priming, in this example, they use the word bye, B-I-E, which is like saying bye-bye to somebody. And they wanted to see if it had any effect on somebody buying something, like if they're more likely to buy. And they did the test on a control group and one group that they did, I think, add the words bye-bye to something. And the people that read bye-bye were more likely to buy. And so it's kind of interesting that our brains connect phonetic words to a meaning of another word that is just phonetic. And I've noticed that like a lot of dad jokes are related to playing on words. So if you hear a word, I'll hear a word and I'll think of one or two or three other ways that are other words that could, that could be, or the phrase or whatever. And that's why I always have like a plentiful number of dad jokes, because I think of words in different ways. But I think this is probably like how our brains are developing, because I think it's common among dads probably. And what we're probably doing is starting to decipher how phonetically different words are different. Anyway, so the group, when they saw the word buy, they were more likely to buy, which I think is totally, I've always thought was interesting, because I think people will connect meanings of things based on the phonetic sound. So they'll be like for Christmas, they'll be like, we give presents for Christmas. So you're thinking, yeah, presents, like gifts. But then people will be like, no, presents, like presence of being with somebody. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Presents makes the same, it's the same. Which doesn't really make sense to me. And then like I've seen like public speakers, they'll have a play on words that like helps somebody connect something in their head, and they'll be like, that makes sense, even though it doesn't really make sense. So anyway, I think we look for those phonetic shortcuts a lot. And anyway, I just thought it was interesting that we do that. Just interesting. You'll probably start to look at brain or words a little differently. And I know for It works in many different ways. So you could use like, so if somebody wants to hire you, you could use the word hire, like HIGHER, in your resume or, job posting or whatever it is. Like take your business to a higher level. Something like that. Anyway, I'm playing around with some of that stuff. But anyway, that's about it. Talk to you later.